So it's Halloween today. I had planned on getting way back into some of these islands off the mainland here, and shame on me for not testing this and figuring it out earlier, but the chest waders I have on, one of the issues I discovered was that, they don't have any stretch, so the leg articulation is not great, which obviously is really important when you're on the unstable ground in the marsh, and we got a thin coat of ice, so I'm busting through every step. But when I have my pack on, that mobility in my lower body really gets cut down. And to be honest, I can't even really lift my knee up to waist level. It's that bad. So what that basically means is that if I try to go out to some of those islands, I might be able to get there. But there's also a super high risk that I fall and can't catch myself because of the lack of mobility. And then if that happens, I'm soaking my stuff in freezing water. So that's not a great risk I'm really willing to take. What that means is I'm just going to stay on kind of the mainland, but work my way down and try and find an area where I can find some good peninsulas heading out into that marsh. Hopefully try and get some movement that way. But I tell you what, there sure is an awful lot of fresh sign in this entire access trail. Probably past 4 or 5 scrapes I've been hitting the last couple days. I can see the peninsula off in the distance I'm headed to. I'm hoping I get another big scrape like this right by the base of the peninsula. That'll make me feel pretty good about that spot and heading in there. The woods are so quiet right now. Still around freezing temperatures, and these chest waders that I have on right now, which are my only boots that I brought because I wasn't planning on switching in anything, they're really crinkly. So I'm a couple 100 yards away from that peninsula, the tip of it anyway, so I'm going to put on my bibs now to cut down on some noise, and I'll just make my way nice and slow back to that area to really try and cut down on the noise and at the same time not sweat. So I'm all set up here, just kind of at ground level, and I'm tucked behind this big red oak, and I got enough cover out in front of me that I should be able to see a deer well before it has the opportunity to see me. The tip of this peninsula is kind of like a small island, and I got in front of me another island, one right there, and so these deer, I'm expecting the ones that are making those scrapes up in the mainland and making all that sign, they're probably bedded out here somewhere, and they could come from any of those islands and hopefully hitch a ride right up this peninsula to get to that mainland. I think I've got decent enough cover behind this big red oak that I can kind of hide behind it a little bit. The front side of this island's got a bunch of brush on it, and then right in the middle here it opens wide open. So with the ice on the marsh, if a deer does come from one of those other islands to come up onto this spot, they're going to make a ton of noise, and I'll be able to hear them well before I'd be able to see them and be able to get ready. There was just 3 does that came off this island over here, and I could see them right coming through these cattails. I could see these does walking probably 35 yards inside that marsh. It looked like they were going to come in behind me to the island. Well, of course, I'm set up on the downwind side of the island so that if deer are up on the main part of the island, I won't get winded. Well, of course, these deer looped around the outside of the island to the downwind side. I can hear more deer coming on the island. that buck was within, I'd say he's about 18 yards, if I had to guess. And he had no idea I was here, just literally standing next to this big red oak. But man, that was exciting, just to have him come in like that and be able to see him, do his thing and have no idea that I'm here, just literally standing downwind of him. I ended up not shooting because, for me at this stage in the season, I'm just still holding off for something a little bit older, but I was plenty excited just getting some footage of him